Hello class 12, welcome to history lecture. We are continuing with our 5th chapter and our today's topic is the Communal Award. This topic, the Communal Award, is a very important topic for your exam, and there first we will see that what was the background for the Communal Award. We will do as the question comes, like the background of the Communal Award, what was the Communal Award and what was the reaction of the India towards the Communal Award. So this type of question comes, so according to the question we will see this topic. So there first we will see the background of the Communal Award. In the background of the Communal Award, what we see is that the British were following the policy of divide and rule, and this policy of divide and rule was the main reason for introduction of the Communal Award, because we see that the British were trying to divide the Indians based on their religion, based on their communities, based on their class division, based on anything that British planned to divide the Indian people, because the British realized that if they want to continue their rule over India, they have to divide the Indian, they have to break the unity of the Indian people. And this way, if they break the unity of the Indian people, it will be possible for the British to destroy the national sentiment, the feeling of nationalism that is growing or developing among the Indian people, that they can destroy by introducing the policy of divide and rule. So this policy was the main reason for the British to introduce the Communal Award. And in this background, we will also remember that in 1909, the Moral and Minto Reform was introduced. The Moral and Minto Reform was introduced in 1909 because we see that they wanted to divide the unity of the Hindus and the Muslims. And in this context, we see by this Moral and Minto Reform of 1909, separate electorate was introduced for the Muslims. Separate electorate for the Muslims means that Muslim representatives will be separately voted by the Muslim. That is, a few Muslim representatives will stand or fight in the election from the side of the Muslims. So in these Moral and Minto reforms, we see that already the British have been able to divide the Hindus and the Muslims. Before that, they have introduced the martial laws by which they have divided the Gorkhas, the Sikhs and the Hindus. According to the martial laws, they have established separate regiment for every community. Like this, they have tried to divide the Indians. The main motive behind this division was to have a stronghold over this country, establishing a stronghold over India. And they realized that only by the policy of divide and rule it is going to be possible. So in this regard, what we will see is that the Muslim community were already divided, and now they were targeting to divide the Hindus based on their class division. So now they introduced the Communal Award, where they wanted to divide the depressed class among the Hindus. So this was their next motive, that this was a Communal Award. Communal Award, we see that it was an award or announcement to further divide the Hindus. Like now what we see, they have divided the two communities already, the Hindus and the Muslims. Now they wanted to further divide the Hindus. Like they now wanted to introduce separate electorate for the Sikhs, for the Christians, for the Anglo-Indians, for Europeans and for Hindus. And among the Hindus also, they wanted to divide the Hindus into two categories, that is the depressed class Hindus and the upper class Hindus. Depressed class means the scheduled caste or the scheduled tribe. So they wanted to divide the Hindu community again into two divisions, because they wanted to introduce more and more division. And this Communal Award was introduced On 16th August 1932, it was declared by the then British Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald. So Ramsay MacDonald declared the Communal Award on 16th August 1932, and there we see they said that in an announcement, that is the introduction of separate electorate for each and every communities of India. So what was the Communal Award? The Communal Award was the announcement to introduce separate electorate for each and every communities of India. This was the Communal Award which was declared by Ramsay MacDonald, and the main motive behind this was to divide the Indians into different communities. If they have separate electorate, if separate representatives are fighting or contesting in the election, and those communities will give vote to only their representatives, then India will be divided, and it will hamper the national sentiments among the Indian people. So this was a Communal Award, and now we'll see what was the reaction of the Indian in this regard. We'll see mainly Gandhiji's reaction, because Gandhiji, we have seen that from the very beginning he was fighting against untouchability. This was one of his agenda, his policy, to remove untouchability from the Indian society. So these introduction of separate electorate for depressed class or scheduled caste Hindus will hamper his untouchability movement. Then if this is introduced, then untouchability can never be removed from the society. For this reason, we see that Gandhiji for the first time raised his voice. He was then in Ayurveda jail. From there, he started his fast unto death, and he said that unless this is rejected, I'll continue my fast. And because of Gandhiji's deteriorating health, all the leaders, because he was one of the senior-most leader of Indian nationalism, all the leaders now wanted to come to a negotiation, because they realized that this Communal Award is only to create division among the Indian people. And when Gandhiji made them realize this, they came to a meeting. They met at Pune, which came to be known as the Pune Pact. It also signed in 1902. There we see the upper caste Hindus was represented by Rajendra Prasad, Madan Mohan Malviya. So these people represented the upper caste Hindus, Rajendra Prasad and Madan Mohan Malviya, and the lower class Hindus, that is the depressed class or the scheduled caste Hindus, were represented by Bhimrao Ambedkar and Srinivasan. They represented the lower caste Hindus. So now in this Pune Pact, according to Gandhiji's decision, they gave some conditions, and these two groups, upper caste Hindus and the depressed class Hindus, came to the conclusion that they will refuse or reject the Communal Award offered by the British. But they also kept some condition, that this condition has to be followed. Reservation should be introduced. Some conditions were kept by the depressed class Hindus, and ultimately we see this upper caste Hindus accepted those conditions which they gave, because their main motive during that time was to refuse this Communal Award. So the Communal Award was finally refused by the lower caste Hindus, but we see that this due to their conditions which they gave, due to these reservations started. That is, among the Hindus also they demanded that there should be reservation of seats for the depressed class. So due to this, we see that the reservation system started, but Communal Award was rejected. So this was a reaction of the Indians, where we see Gandhiji protested from the very beginning. He was completely against the Communal Award. From Ayurveda jail, he was that time in Ayurveda jail. He started his fast unto death, and then the two groups came and refused the Communal Award. So this was a Communal Award, and in this in this topic, these are the things only that you have to learn. That is the background of the Communal Award, that is why it was introduced, and what is the Communal Award, and what was the reaction of the Indian people for the Communal Award. This we see this answer is very important, and also we have to remember that the main motive of the British behind the Communal Award was only to create dissension among the Indian people. Already they have created division among different communities of India, Now their motive was to create division among the Hindus by dividing the Hindus into two sections, upper class Hindus and the depressed class Hindus. Thank you.